Welcome everyone to Thoughts on Thursday, Season 2, Episode 8. This week we are turning the tables on our mentors. So I've been astounded since kicking this program off back in late March at the level of engagement we get with senior industry leaders, trying to wrap my head around why they can be so generous with their time while they're obviously managing a really troubled time in their hotels and in their businesses. 6-7 months on, I think I'm beginning to understand it, knowing a lot of them personally and knowing what the industry means to them. But I think we wanted to gather our mentors as well as our mentees together, partly to say thank you and in celebration of what our mentors do, but also I think partly to try and unpick the industry a little bit more and try and understand what is going on and what is it that those of us with more experience are seeing that means we know now is the right time to be giving back and be contributing to that next generation of leaders coming on through. And really at its DNA, that's what the GrowthWorks Network is all about, bringing together kind of industry leaders. I think the way I see it, and no one epitomizes it more, I think, than Estelle and Mirko, who you're hearing from today, we're trying to unlock this humble modesty of some of our industry superheroes. You know, these are not people who spend their days giving big main stage conference talks. They're people who are grafting away in their day jobs leading teams, but recognize that if you put an opportunity in front of them to give back, you know, they'll absolutely seize it, because nothing is more important than continuing to develop the people of the industry. Estelle is a hotel director with NH. She's got a portfolio of experience covering Steinberger, Hilton, Movenpick. She's a Glion grad and won't tell you, but she finished top of her class. And Mirko is an Accor veteran. And again, if people ask you whether you should join a big company or a small company, I think you'd say Mirko's had several careers within Accor. He's just finished being a kind of what I call the SWAT team task force over at Movenpick, solving problems and taking names across problem properties. But he's also worked in M Gallery, Pullman, Sofitel, Novotel. Before Accor, he was at Marriott. He's been at Best Western. He's also studied at Glion and Cornell. So you're talking about two people who've seen a phenomenal amount of the industry, and I think really go to understand how important that field experience is.
Thanks, James, for the great introduction, and really excited to be here today. I think it's going to be a great discussion with a lot of people here. That's really nice. Started off my career, as James said, exactly 20 years ago with Glion, studying in Switzerland. From there, I had the chance to start with a fast-track management program of Hilton called the Elevator Program, which was really a fantastic opportunity to get to know all the different departments in detail. Worked in all departments on a lot of different projects, hotel openings, and really the beginning of my career was very much focused in operations, mainly front office as front office manager. And then decided that it would be good to know the other side of the business a bit more, which the commercial business development, strategic revenue management side. Spent there some time both on property and regional. Then realized that regional is not for me. I really missed the craziness of being in operations and running around all day. Another passion I grew in the last years in the hotel management is all about HR and team engagement, which obviously links directly very much to coaching and mentoring as well. So talking a bit about the COVID pandemic, obviously it's a very difficult situation for everybody, but it's change, and change is always good. Personally, for example, I'm using the extra time, because before you're running around 14 hours in the hotel operations and forget that there's another world out there sometimes. Personally, I use the time to learn a new language. I'm doing a Cornell certificate right now, reading management books, and then finally, obviously, I'm using the extra time for mentoring, So that brings us to why we're here today. Why give this extra time? The first one being networking, which I think with the GrowthWorks especially gives us a great opportunity to meet people from all over the world, different industries within hospitality, different countries, different backgrounds, with different companies, which usually we wouldn't have the chance to talk with. So I think that's really a great opportunity. Also, I think mentoring is a great personal development for both, for mentors and for mentees. For me, for sure, because it puts you out of your comfort zone. You're also mentoring. Normally, you're mentoring and coaching people you already know better. You know how they will react to feedback. And so it gives us an opportunity to learn more about other characters, also more about the new generation, and be ultimately through all of this able to be a better leader and lead all of different types of people better. It's how to make a positive impact on somebody's life. I think that that's what hospitality in the end is all about. Why we love hospitality, because we want to make a positive impact on others' lives. And in the end, the mentee's success is our success too.
I started the hotel industry when I was 16 years old in Switzerland by an apprenticeship, which is very common in Switzerland. And I worked for almost 4 years in F&B departments in several roles. And then I decided to shift to the front office rooms division department. So I grew very quickly as a front office manager when I was 21 years old for Holiday Inns with Intercontinental at the first ski resort in Switzerland in Lada. How do I perceive the actual and future hospitality situation? I think this is a very important question today. I think, first of all, as you know, the hospitality industry is badly impacted by the COVID, as we know, with many hotels are closed, a lot of redundancy, and of course, many employees are looking for new opportunities. Then I thought to myself, okay, now we're in a crisis, but what are the opportunities which COVID bring to us today? So I have highlighted 3 points. I think the first one, which is very interesting, because as a general manager, how many times we have to fight with the owning company to invest money in digital. So digital suddenly came, bloop, by miracle, something which is very highlighted. So a lot of money has been spent in digital. So this is a very important point. The second point, then we start to perceive that some position, especially in administration, can work remotely. And then the third one, I think most of us, we have learned new skills, which before we were maybe a little bit much more specialized, and now we become much more generalist. Of course, once the COVID is over, the recruitment will start to be on. New position will start to be available. But I believe, I have the perception that salary will start to decrease, because it will be an opportunity also for the companies to reevaluate the package salary. I'm talking especially me as an expat in Dubai, in the Middle East. What we can see today is that most of the package, school allowance, if you have kids, transportation allowance, housing allowance, everything is cut between 30 to 50%. So this is the trend today. And I don't think after the COVID, it will stop. It will be a trend for a couple of years, let's say that. But what is interesting, I think, to highlight after the pandemic situation is also to see what will be changed in terms of engagement with the mentees, because I can see I'm working now for more than 3 decades in the hotel industry. Engagement is one of the big subjects. How to get the loyalty from the young generation, from the millennials, example. But let's be clear, once it's over and we get back to a job with a salary, I believe personally the engagement will be the highlighted points, because security job will be the priority number 1. I am a self-made hotelier. I did not done any école hôtelière at the beginning of my career. I did apprenticeship, I did some personal development, I did a Cornell diploma master, and I decided 3 years ago as a Martin to do MBA online with Lyon. So it was a very, yes, it was a very courageous decision, because it was very tough working between a pre-opening hotel in Qatar for Pullman brands. During my career, I had many mentors. Most of them gave me this passion to work as a hotelier, to be very focused in the details about the welcoming, hospitality, and etc. And The only advice which I can give today for the young generation is to be themselves. I think be yourself is the key to succeed, and to take advantage also by the mentor to lead by example. This is the key.
How do you think about balancing your time at work versus your time mentoring to people that you don't work with, and frankly, you're not responsible for, I suppose?
It's true that to kick it off, it was easier, as I said myself before, no, that to have more time. I personally think now, seeing how beneficial it really is for everybody, I think there's always time to do things like that. Even so, now we have to prioritize our time, and I think also how we use our time will be very different in future after this pandemic. I think that's one of the positive outcomes as well, because everybody, as Mirko said, sees that there are different ways you can do things. You can work from home and not everything is falling down, and you can do other things in your time as well. So I do think that it was the right time to kick it off, but I believe it will be sustainable, because it's just so important and so beneficial for everybody.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And a question, this one is actually from me. What makes a great mentor in some of those soft skills? And I suppose selfishly, how do you match people? How do you like, what would you be looking for in a great mentee who's more interested in soft skills and not necessarily something that jumps out from your CV, for example?
I give an example. Very soon I will start to recruit my executive team and the managers and the supervisor and the team members. Obviously, a CV is always a CV, but today I think what is much more important is the personality of the mentees. To make a difference today with the competition, we need to propose something different. Because most of the hotels, we propose the same product, the same service, the same digital solutions or whatever. So the difference to stay in the top will made by the people, let's be clear. So my first point, which I do, of course, I will start to review a CV in terms of the skills of the candidates, but I will not spend too much time in the CV, let's be clear. If I see that the CV is well done, well presented with a picture, because today, unfortunately, a picture is also important, depending the position which will be applied in the hotel. This will give this art tip to say, okay, I want to interview the candidates. I want to know more about the candidates. I want to share with the candidate what I'm looking for and to see if the candidate is matching with the profile I'm looking for. But for me, the key is the personality and is the passion. I mean, if I feel that the candidate is not passionate about the hotel industry and for the position is applying, again, this is me personally. I believe any head of department, GMs, or whatever kind of position responsibility, they have their own judgment. But this is my own one.
Look, I will just quickly wrap up. Thank you both, Estelle and Mirko, for preparing thoughts,
Pleasure.
sparing time and working with us. Thank you, everyone. We're here to learn just as much as anyone else. I think that's something that mentors don't always say enough, is that they're getting just as much out of this. So brave and engaging to see you all leap on this. It's obviously easier on Slack, where it's a little bit less personal. You can use your channels to chat with people. So head there, chat to any mentors you want in our Find a Mentor channel. But of course, please keep going to Thoughts on Thursday. It's so motivating to see people's cameras on, people asking questions and all that kind of stuff. If we didn't get to your question, jump onto the Thoughts on Thursday channel, ask it, and we'll definitely field it at the right place. But in the meantime, like, have a great end to the week and a great weekend. Can't wait to see you next week. And do give us feedback on what's working, what's not, and how we can help you over the next few months. And thanks for your attention. Have a safe time.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.